Hey Scrappers, it's Alice Funk from Morgantown, Pennsylvania, and I want to show you a really cool way to use some of your scraps. So I am going to let me replace the pen. There we go. There's my tabletop. This is the layout that I am going to show you really quickly. Super fun idea using those strips that you have left over. And I had a lot of strips from this pack. This was the um, uh, Prairie selection. Such beautiful papers. These are all the papers that were in that particular paper pack. Absolutely love this idea. I'm going to show you how simple it is. If you have leftover strips, and this is what I had, I pulled out this collection. I said, let me use this up so I feel like it's done and I can just get rid of that piece of plastic and paper that was sitting in my pile. And I like to do this a lot where I have leftovers and I'm just going to make them into a page to use at another time. I put photo saving spots on here so I have an idea what I had planned for it if I don't have pictures yet. And it's just scrap paper from white paper. I used the cover of the cut it up and just kind of put down some spots where I would have photos, and then I have it ready for the future. So this is a great idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create that border first. And on that border, I just took strips of paper that I had left over. And I happen to have, if you notice, I happen to have strips that all had that colonial blade on the edge of the strip. So you can see it really well. This light one, you can see that colonial blade strip edge to that strip. Some edges had colonial blade on both of them. Some only had them on the others. So what I did was, and you can see it here on this piece, you can see that colonial edge was cut all the way across. So what I did was I grabbed the 1-inch strips and I cut them all with the colonial blade. Some of them I had strips that already were there. And then what I did was I took my trimmer and I cut them to 3 inches wide. So what I would do is, and I was looking for some, oh, you know what? Because I had them already cut. If you notice, they all had that decorative edge. I cut them down to a 3-inch width. That's all I wanted. And then rather than cutting them all in front of you, because you all know how to cut on your trimmer, I took those 1-inch wide strips, cut them all into 3 inches, and you can see some are a little wider, some aren't some are cut with that decorative edge on both sides. Some had the decorative edge only on one side, which is why, if you notice, I tucked them under each other. So only one side had to show. So that dictated where I was going to put things. I took a 3-inch wide strip of purple, and rather than building right on that purple strip, if you notice, when I built my border last time, I built it and I wanted that 1/4-inch edge all the way around. So what I did was I built those strips onto a strip of white paper or any color paper, any scrap you have lying around. And I have tons of scraps that I pull out just for these kind of occasions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put repositionable tape along the edge with the decorative edging, and it could be just in the center, but I want to make sure I get that decorative edge down. I'm going to put it right on the edge of that strip, and I can have it overhang just a little bit. Now, the first one is going to be your guide. So I want to make sure that I put this strip of white, and like I said, it can be a strip of anything scrap. I'm going to make sure that my strip that I'm putting on now meets one of the lines on my mat. And the reason I want to do that is I want to make sure as I'm building it that that line across the bottom is accurate, is all the way straight. The last time I built this border, it started to tip because I tend to tilt things by accident. So again, what I'm doing is I'm adding repositional tape. Now I'm doing the whole edge because this is going to overlap and I want it to lay down on that next piece next to it. I put a piece of regular tape right on top of the middle because that's what's going to hit that white strip of paper. So you see I overlapped it. I'm just going to pull it up so you can see. I overlapped it so you can't see the decorative edge from that yellow paper, but you can see the decorative edge of the purple paper that's next to it. Okay, I'm just going to put that back down. It is going to stick to your mat a little later. That's why we have that little, and of course now I can't find mine because I use it all the time. That pickup square. The pickup square is great. You just rub it back and forth on your mat and it will pick up all the little tape that might have gotten on there. So I have the next one. I'm just going to put some repositionable tape on the one edge, on that decorative edge. And then I'm going to put a little regular tape in the center because that's going to go on that white strip. I'm going to overlap it and put that down. The next one is going to be what I'm doing is I'm alternating putting that repositional tape on the edge and I'm putting regular tape in the center. So the regular tape will hold it to that white strip. And this one, if you notice, I'm going to put this one a little bit longer. If you notice, this particular strip, it kind of got a little off. It's okay because I'm going to trim it down at the end. I also noticed I must have used the colonial blade on the bottom of this to cut it. Oh, well, that's okay. I'll trim that off. It's all right. And that's the beauty of scrapbooking is that you can always trim things up and make it better. It's going to work. It's okay. It's really how you perceive things. You can always, like I tell everybody, put a sticker over it. It will work out fine. So I'm just building this, like I said, repositional tape on the edge, and I'm putting a little bit of regular tape in the center. Now, repositionable tape would really hold the whole thing. That does not panic me because once you have that page protector on top of your page, it is going to stick. It's going to stay. It's not going to be a problem. The reason I didn't want to do that for this one is because it's going to sit in a bin until I get pictures on it. I kind of wanted to make sure it was a little bit more permanent. Like I said, repositional tape will become permanent over time, especially under that page protector. It is not going to move. But because I'm going to have it sitting in a bin until I'm ready and have the right pictures for this page. And so I just put this, again, I'm just overlapping these papers. I thought I had enough to go all the way across, but obviously not. few more strips, which is okay. And what I'm doing is I'm overlapping the right side of my strip, and the straight side, it's okay because what I'm going to do is have the next piece overlapping that piece. So the next piece I want is the green, which one is green? If I have a little more green under here. There we go. Oh, I have one almost already cut. At the 1 inch. So this is how you use up all those strips and scraps that you have laying around that you're tired of looking at. What do? We save them because we know at some point we'll use them. But at some point you get, whoops, I put tape on the wrong side. Well, that was silly of me, but that's okay. I know I'm gonna cut off the edge, so it's all right. That this isn't perfect. I am going to put this on the top. And we're going to cut off that bottom anyway. So now what I'm going to do, and it's okay that you have a little bit of extra off the end because this is actually 12 inches wide. I want to make sure that I'm cutting that down. So I'm going to make sure I cut it on this side because that one edge was a little ragged, and I'm going to cut off a little on the other side. So I cut part of that white strip off that was sticking out. I know I'm not going to need it. I want about a ½ inch off this so it fits onto my my strip of purple, which is going to be the background. So this is about 3 inches wide. This is about 3.5 inches. We're just going to make sure 3.5 inches. Down just a smidge. That's what I get for not putting my trimmer on a flat surface. Okay, so I have that as 3.5. I want this to be 3 inches. So I'm just going to take what I created and I'm going to put it in at 3 inches and make sure that my edges are cut. It is okay if it cuts down a little bit more. And a smidge or two is not going to matter. So I trimmed off that bottom so it's perfectly straight. I'm going to flip it over and trim the other side. Just because you see my edges aren't all perfectly lined up, that's okay. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'll just stick this down a little bit less than 3 inches. Maybe whatever the next line is on my mark, because that way I will trim it and it will make the edge perfectly straight. Just cut off little tiny shavings off the whole thing. Whoops. Okay. Now, when I put this down, I'm going to flip it over. I see that white strip. I'm just going to put some repositional tape across. I can put even regular tape across. At this point, this is where I'm going to put it on. This is my jumbo tape runner, which should be back in stock soon. Okay. All right. I have my strip. Now, again, it is perfect for the top and bottom. It's going to look perfect, but it's still 12 inches wide. So what I want to do is cut off a little bit on each side. I do want the edge on the one side still has that decorative edge. So I want to make sure, whoops, that I take that edge off because I want it to be straight inside my border. So I'm going to take that off. And then I'm going to take the other side off a little bit. So what I want, because my border is 12 inches wide, that purple strip is 12 by 3.5, I'm going to make this 11.5 inches. So I'm going to put it at 11.5 inches because then it will be perfect in my inches. And I've already got tape on it, so I am going to flip it over. I'm going to center it right inside that purple matting. I am going to press it down, and there is my gorgeous border. And then once you adhere it to the page, I adhered it to the top. It could go on the side, it can go on the bottom. It's perfect border. And I could really just throw the border into a bin and have it for when I need a page idea and just pull it out. The reason I chose at the top was, and I see right now that some of my flowers are upside down. So I'm going to just flip it around. That's why I chose it to go across instead of up and down on my page, because I didn't want my flowers lying on the side. So I'm going to turn it this way. Also, one other thing I want to show you, this is an title embellishment. We have a couple of packs of those. This happens to be let's see if I have it buried here, the Let's Have Fun title pack. Love those. Just put some repositionable tape on the back and you can put them down. And these flowers are from the chrysanthemum punch. The petals and the flower part is the middle size of the chrysanthemum punch. And what is this? This is the confetti that falls out of your leaf and acorn punch. The acorn and leaf border maker cartridge, that centerpiece was this. And I said, oh, let me use that and make little stems for my flowers. So there's a border idea using your scraps. Use those scraps up. Hope you have a great day and try this fun page.